What is up with it, YouTubes? Quattro for Live here. Very excited to post this video. It's been a long time coming, and today is finally the day that I have chosen to reveal my newest race car project. I've had a bunch of bullshit going on last year too, but somehow have managed to mess with this car here and there when the time prevail. This is something that I've always dreamed of doing, but just never had the massive amount of fabrication skill that it would take to pull this off. I'd say that I've come a long way with my skills these last few years. Uh, I have codenamed this Project Laser Beam because the color of this B5 S4 is a laser red, and my intention for this car is to eventually be really fucking fast, dude. So, you know, most likely gonna make my silver C4 S4 look slow at some point, and that is probably my main goal. Just build something absolutely retarded. But I'm gonna take my time with it. Have fun along the way. I want to do truck events, car shows, drag racing events, and pretty much all thing in between. Long-term plans. I like to have dedicated drag car, but for now, just want to have fun with it in all different category and enjoy the car on this lower power before it get too serious. And it's gonna get pretty serious. Going to show you guys the car today, take it out for a drive, show you how well the setup works. Don't want this to be long, boring video, so if you guys are interested in me doing an in-depth video of this build, let me know in the comment. I'll try to go more into detail about how I got the car where it is today and talk more about goal for this future and, plans and stuff like that I have for it, as I'm sure some of you are curious and interested about all of this. But without further ado, let's check out Project Laser Beam. Ooh, look at that. My. When I first pictured what this would look like in my head, I didn't think it would look quite this good. Every time I look at it, I am still amazed. Now, I've only seen a handful of these cars with this swap, but as far as I know, this is a one-of-one in North America. If you know this to not be true, please leave a comment, as there is, any of these around. I would love to see it. I'm not on Facebook, social media, so it's possible that one of them slipped through the crack, but, you never know. But most people do the VR6 swaps on these cars, probably because the engine size, the availability, and of course the support, but that is just too cliche for me. And I personally think that an AAN 5-cylinder is much better engine. It's just much more difficult to get support for, and obviously to get it to fit in here without the support is difficult, but also helped me out that I had this engine laying around. I bought for $500 a year ago, so this was a no-brainer. So as most of you know, what you see here is an OG Audi AAN 2.2 liter swap from a 1992 Audi S4 C4 chassis into a 2000 Audi S4 B5 chassis. The engine is completely stock, including stock turbo and wastegate. The only mods it has is the MTM Stage 1 tune. It's got the RS2 Exhaust Manifold, full 3-inch exhaust that transitioned into the twin 1 dual exhaust that I had on this car previously when it was V6 2.7. And oh yeah, also it's got the screamer pipe that I made for the car. Can't leave home without that. I've got a solid 500 plus mile on the setup so far. Everything seems to be functioning as intended. My goal is to strip as much weight as possible out of the car, just bare, only the necessary things. Got it running and driving on stock Motronic ECU. This was very challenging. Could have been a lot easier to throw the standalone in there from the beginning, but that is mainly why I went this route. Just wanted to see if it was possible and just wanted to challenge myself. I personally need to challenge myself to get better at things and learn from my mistake, because without failure, we really don't have much to learn from. So briefly, like I said, the car completely gutted with only the basic. I removed all the sound deadening out of the car. Saved about 17 pounds. That was an absolute motherfucker. Took a long time, but whatever. We're here now. Probably won't ever do that again. Still have a lot of wiring to remove in the car, a bunch of shit not using, but you know, I'll take care of that later when I have more time to make it all neat and pretty like. Got the temporary homemade gauge panel right there. See that? Got some switches on there. You know, for now work just fine. We'll be replacing with aluminum later on. Still sucks seats for now, but I've got some lightweight Kirkies. You know, the aluminum Kirkies, like 12 pounds, something like this. Very, very light. Will probably shave another 100 pounds off the car, but just haven't gotten there yet. So in the rear we got the cooling package. This is not 100% done yet. Still need to build the intakes for the radiator, tidy up a few things, but for now it'll work really good. I've got the Davies Craig electric water pump right there. This is assisting with the transfer of the coolant back to the front of the car. All the plumbing that you see is just a mix from parts I got from work. I work on prototype electric semi-trucks, so that made it very convenient to use the same mix of piping that we use on our trucks for this project. The main hoses that are connecting the engine to the radiator are very high quality, made in Italy, very well insulated, and not to mention very, very strong. It is absolute overkill for what I'm doing, but those of you that know my silver car know that I love overkill. Speaking of overkill, the radiator is an aftermarket aluminum 4-row meant for a 68 Chevelle. It is huge. And my goal was to take up as much space as possible, and I say I did a decent job at that. So the radiator pretty cheap, only like $250 for radiator, fan shrouds, straight off of eBay. Had to build all the mounts and shit from scratch to bolt to the car because, you know, I really wanted to make it detachable and easy to service. But to cool the radiator off, I built this radiator exhaust, I call it, for the fans. Basically 12-inch ducting. It merges into a 14 to come out the bottom of the car. Really wasn't too sure what to do here. I didn't want to, you know, cut up too much shit. I treat this vehicle like prototype projects, so nothing is permanent. There will always be room for improvement, and I plan on doing so as time goes on. And I have tested out all these parts and have more money to put into it. But, you know, just like I said, want to avoid cutting up a bunch of shit. Wanted to make it reversible if possible. So I'd say it turned out pretty good, but that's pretty much it without going into too much of intense amount of detail. Obviously there's a lot of fabrication involved to make all of this work. Even to get this radiator in here was like 2 solid days of planning, execution, but luckily all the aluminum bits that I use for the mounts here were free from work. Got a machine shop, so I was able to cut all that stuff out and, you know, measure, bend, you know, then I just bring home and weld all together. So very, very happy with the way this all turned out. But including when I paid for the engine, I'm really only like $2 grand into this project so far. It is definitely 98% labor to get it to where it is today. Just put a set of cheap coilovers on it because the front of the car was jacked up high in the sky because of the difference in engine weight. So yeah, and the got the radiator cap right there where the speaker used to be, and then on this side I got the overflow from Mercedes. It's pretty cool because it's clear. It's still got the radiator cap to build pressures. I look in the rearview mirror, I can see the overflow, so it's pretty cool. But I am very, very proud what I have been able to achieve so far with this. Still have a lot more work to do, but you know, enough with all the bullshit talking. Let's take this puppy out on the road and just show you guys just how cool it really is.
What's that? Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 cylinders. I think she was asking. What hours do you work? 9 to what? 9 to 5? Yeah, 5 cylinder. Yeah. She did want to know. She'll kick herself later.
Oh, killing me, dude.
Yeah, she knew it was a 5 cylinder. Yeah, she'll kick herself later. slightly. Cheers, love. Stop, drop, roll. This thing sounds fucking spastic. If I get mine sounding like that, I don't care if it's fucking slow, it sounds cool as shit. Fucking teach this impressor just right by the window. I'd get 0 gas miles out of this.
Everyone's looking at me.
The fucking wastegate is fucking so good, mate. It's so good. Actually, fucking can take a right on the right corner. Where he's like, shut it. Have you seen that? It literally sounds like that. Mate, this is so fucking cool. Makes such a difference in the rear view as well. That's how you fit. Oh mate, it's so fucking cool. It feels a bit different to my V5 and I can't put my finger on it, maybe because there's nothing in it.
Yeah.
It's so good, it's addictive. It's so addictive. I literally just want to find people to drive past them to make a stupid noise. I'm looking for cars with their windows down. Shut it, shut it, shut it.
What's the price of one of those? More than you can afford, pal. Ferrari, motherfucker! how good the cooling